It is exactly 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. The only light in your living room comes from the harsh blue glow of your phone screen. You are staring at a specific number on your banking app. $1,245,890. Your thumb hovers over the screen. You pull down to refresh it. The loading circle spins and the number stays exactly the same. You are 22 years old and you just officially crossed the line. You are a self-made millionaire. This is the exact moment they sell you in the online courses. The montage with the rap music, the champagne popping, the absolute euphoric victory. But here is the reality of the game that nobody warns you about. The secret tax of winning too early. The feeling washing over you right now isn't euphoria. It is a profound, deafening silence. You look out the floor-to-ceiling windows of your downtown apartment. The city is asleep. And you realize, with a cold drop in your stomach, that you have absolutely nobody to call. Welcome to level 1 of early wealth. The isolation of the elite. You see, when you build this kind of capital while everyone else your age is just trying to figure out their major, you don't just change tax brackets. You change planets. Think about your childhood best friend. A year ago, you two were splitting a $20 pizza and complaining about finals. Now, it is 3 in the afternoon on a Thursday. They are texting you, panicking about a $400 car repair that might completely ruin their month. You read that text while actively signing off on an $80,000 wire transfer for a new software integration for your business. What are you supposed to say to them? Damn, bro, that sucks. If you offer to casually pay for the car, you change the dynamic forever. You instantly become the ATM. You become the patron. If you don't pay it, you feel like a sociopath because $400 to you right now is like finding a quarter in the couch cushions. So you send a sympathetic emoji and you swallow the guilt. You learn the very first unspoken rule of the self-made. You must lie by omission. You start shrinking yourself to fit into the rooms you used to occupy comfortably. You buy the drinks, you quietly pick up the dinner tabs, but you watch the subtle shift in their eyes. The jokes change. The resentment quietly brews under the surface. They don't see you anymore. They see a walking dollar sign. They see the gap. That gap introduces you to level 2. The absolute loss of normalcy. It creeps up on you. It is 10 p.m. on a Saturday. You decide you need to touch grass, so you go to a regular college townhouse party. The air smells like cheap beer and bad decisions. Someone hands you a red plastic cup. You are standing in the kitchen, surrounded by people your exact age, and a guy named Tyler is passionately complaining about his mid-level manager making him work a Sunday shift. You nod, pretending to relate. But inside your head, your brain is running a completely different operating system. You aren't thinking about Sunday shifts. You are mentally calculating the customer acquisition cost of your latest ad campaign, wondering if the recent algorithm update is going to slash your margins by 15%. You are standing shoulder to shoulder with your peers, but you are speaking a dead language. You have traded your youth for leverage, and the transaction is irreversible. Even dating becomes a psychological chess match. You take a girl out at 8 in the evening. You deliberately pick a mid-tier restaurant, maybe a decent local Italian place, nothing too flashy. You leave the Rolex in the watch window at home. You wear a plain black t-shirt. You are running a covert screening process. You need to know if she likes the 22-year-old guy sitting across from her or if she catches the scent of the heavy metal black card in his wallet. Because the moment you slip up, the moment you invite her back to a 3,000 square foot penthouse, the power dynamic shatters. You can never unring that bell. You start questioning every compliment, every smile, every sudden burst of affection. The money builds an impenetrable fortress around you, but a fortress is still just a very expensive prison. And then comes the day you decide to stop hiding it. You tell yourself you earned it, you bled for it, so why play poor to make other people comfortable? It is a crisp Friday morning. You walk into the dealership and you buy the dream. Not a sensible luxury sedan, a matte black Porsche 911. You pay cash. You grip the steering wheel, feeling the Alcantara leather, hearing the guttural roar of the engine as you merge onto the highway. For exactly 20 minutes, you feel like the king of the world, the absolute apex predator of your generation. But then, you pull up to a family dinner at 6 in the evening. You park the Porsche in the driveway next to your uncle's 10-year-old Honda. You walk through the front door. The conversation immediately stops. The energy in the room shifts, heavy and thick. Your cousin makes a passive-aggressive joke about tech bros. Your aunt asks a little too eagerly if you can look at her son's resume. You sit at the dining table, looking at the people who raised you, the people who knew you when you were nothing, and you realize the ultimate cost of getting rich this young. You haven't just bought a car or an apartment. You have bought your way out of the human experience you were born into. You are a ghost in a remarkably tailored suit, haunting the life you used to live. And as you sit there, chewing your food in silence, you realize the game is only just beginning. You leave that family dinner early. It is 8:45 in the evening. You are driving the matte black Porsche back to the city. The highway is empty, the streetlights rhythmically flashing across the hood of the car. You press the pedal down, feeling the instant torque pin you to the seat. In this quiet, speeding metal box, you finally admit the brutal truth to yourself. You cannot go backwards. You cannot unlearn the cheat codes. The old skin has to be shed. Welcome to level 3, the absolute terrifying freedom of choice. You see, normal life is entirely structured around constraints. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Rent is due on the 1st, waiting for the weekend. But you? You have effectively hacked the matrix and removed every single guardrail. It is 3 in the afternoon on a random rainy Tuesday. You look out your penthouse window and decide you simply do not like the weather today. You open an app on your phone. You book a first-class ticket to Miami. You don't have to ask a manager for time off. You don't have to check your credit card balance. You grab a leather duffel bag, call an Uber Black, and leave. 5 hours later, you are standing on the balcony of a 5-star oceanfront suite. You are paying $1,200 a night. The warm ocean breeze hits your face. You look out at the water, waiting for that overwhelming surge of happiness to hit you. But it doesn't. The ocean just looks like the ocean. The room is beautiful, but it is completely empty. This is the harsh realization of absolute freedom. When you can have anything you want at the exact moment you want it, your dopamine system flatlines. You discover that the friction of life, the wanting, the waiting, the saving up for months for a single trip was actually the source of the joy. You have bypassed the journey and bought the destination, but you quickly find out that fulfillment is not included in the luxury tax. So you try to find a new tribe. You start seeking out the other anomalies, the ones who speak your new language. It is midnight on a Thursday. You are sitting in a dimly lit velvet-lined booth at a private members club downtown. The air smells like expensive oud and cedarwood. You are surrounded by 3 other guys under 25 who also beat the game. One scales e-commerce brands, the other is a crypto millionaire. For the first time in months, you don't have to hide the Rolex. You don't have to downplay your ambition to make the room comfortable. But pay close attention to the conversation over the $300 bottle of tequila. Nobody is talking about their fears or art or love or anything remotely human. They are aggressively debating the tax advantages of establishing dual residency in Dubai. They are comparing the return on investment of their private sleep coaches. It is a room full of apex predators quietly sizing each other up. You realize very quickly that these are not your friends. They are strategic alliances. They respect your net worth, not your character. If your business collapsed tomorrow and that bank account dropped to 0, every single one of these guys would stop returning your texts by noon. You have found your peers, but the purely transactional nature of the elite leaves you feeling colder than before. And here is the darkest joke of all. The money doesn't buy you an exit from the stress. It just buys your seat at a much more dangerous table. It is 9 in the morning on a Monday. You are sitting at your custom walnut desk. You thought hitting 7 figures meant you had crossed the finish line, that you could finally exhale. But now, you have a payroll of 6 employees who rely on you to feed their families. You have aggressive competitors actively trying to clone your exact business model. You have a quarterly tax liability coming up that is larger than what your parents earned in a decade. The anxiety doesn't vanish. It mutates. You are no longer panicked about surviving. You are absolutely terrified of losing the crown. You become obsessed, paranoid, hypervigilant, because the only thing worse than never being rich is being rich and losing it all. Which brings you right back to where we started. It is exactly 2:30 in the morning. The harsh blue light of your phone screen illuminates your face in the dark apartment. $1,245,890. You stare at the number, but the number doesn't stare back. It cannot hold you. It cannot tell you that you are a good person. You got exactly what you asked for. You beat the system, you secured the bag, and you bought your total independence. But as you look out over the sleeping city, the deafening silence ringing in your ears, you finally understand the real trade you made. You didn't just buy your freedom, you bought your own private island, and you are the only inhabitant.